Hey y'all, I'm Allison Asarch from Nashville, Tennessee.
Hey, I'm Sean Fraser from the Ritzy Kids.
Hunters, this is Johnny from Rail Motor.
Hey, it's Shane from Blind Season.
Hey, it's Rob Stanier, and you can check out my music on all the streaming platforms.
Check out my latest music on all the streaming sites.
Check out my debut album on all streaming platforms.
Check out our new debut album.
Check us out on Spotify and Apple Music. And you're listening to our friends, Braggy and Curly.
And my favorite bands from Australia.
My two favourite podcasters,
Braggy and Curly.
Braggy and Curly.
On the
Unfiltered and Undiscovered podcast.
And Rossi.
Hey there, everyone. It's Curly here, and welcome to this special episode of the Unfiltered and Undiscovered podcast. Now, the music world's been buzzing this year with all the excitement of 40-year anniversary tours. And we've seen a heap of them. We've even seen the Birdmen with their 50-year anniversary tour. And while currently the Oasis reunion may have stolen much of the headlines, the only two bands that mattered here in Brisbane on Friday night, August 30, were Ups and Downs and the Stems, who were here on the Stems' 40th anniversary tour. These two legendary bands were the heart and soul of the Australian indie music scene during much of the 80s and 90s. And for many people, their return was nothing short of electrifying. And the packed house at Mansfield was living proof just how much we had missed them. So, but a quick note to venues, just because we may have a few more years under our belts, it doesn't mean we don't enjoy a drink. And the lines and the queues for the bar were ridiculous on Friday night. And not having the bar properly manned, well, that's just a big miss. You miss the opportunity to, potentially make some more revenue. But the reality is, it is what it is. And so we went through it. So before the gig, I caught up with a couple of my old mates in the public bar. And suddenly it hit me, I was surrounded by old people, right? It's a little bit unsettling, to realize that you're now the same age as folks that you once would have thought were old. But here we were there. But there was a beautiful hum of conversations. There was a lot of nostalgia being shared, reminiscing about gigs from decades ago. Things like the last time I was here at the Mansfield, what's our favorite gigs, what's our favorite moments. And looking around the room, there was a lot of familiar faces. Others brought smiles, nods. The occasional one brought a hug. But then there were also those moments of, how do I know that person? That person looks so familiar. And it was all happening before the gig. It was just absolutely amazing. Now, time had been kind to some, not so much to others. Some looked fitter than ever before, while some have obviously grown very comfortable in their own skins. And it was also heartwarming to see the next generation there. So, the sons and daughters were there, and it was just really positive to see them sharing in the timeless music of both Ups and Downs and the Stems. Now, Ups and Downs took the stage first, and they are one of my most favorite bands of all time. And let me tell you, they were fantastic, better than ever. They were sharp, they were tight. Their music is aging like a fine wine. The room acoustics in some of the venues that I've seen them have actually softened some of their sharpness and that jingle jangle guitar that they are so renowned for. But on this night at Mansfield Tavern, everything clicked. The venue worked for them. They all worked together. You could see that they were just the chemistry on stage was just amazing, melodic, jangly, and what I would say right on point. The only thing that was missing, those flowing locks that they used to have way back in the 80s and now obviously replaced with, let's just say, aged and modest hairstyles would be what I would say. But they're amazing. Greg up front, just still commanding the spotlight. It's just such a strong focal point with ups and downs, having Greg up front, Darren back there on drums driving the beat. We've got Peter and John holding up both sides of the stage. It just anchored, right? And in many ways, it felt like they had never left. You know, it's still a mystery how this band didn't become as big as they deserved to be. And Darren shared some of those reasons in the interview that we had with Darren from Ups and Downs way back in episode 69. So definitely check that out. The link is in the show notes. So now their live set is sprinkled with, you know, their faster paced songs that we all know, but also with slower, moodier pieces. And some of these just build into something that's truly lively, like a song like Traveling, for example. Feels almost foreboding at times. It's just, there's a bit of darkness there, you know, yet incredibly uplifting at times. And this is just one of the things that you see in an Ups and Downs set. It's interspersed with like this power pop, with this moodiness that envelops the crowd. So there's also always some iconic moments in an Ups and Downs set. Songs like In the Shadow, their cover version of Solitary Man, Lit by the Fuse is another classic example. But for me, the opening lines, the bass line especially of Perfect Crime and the jangle of The Living Kind are just pure magic. And here they are. Now, I wish I could have captured more of the Ups and Downs set, but thanks to the bar situation, I spent a good chunk of the set with a beer in each hand, which makes it really hard to use a camera, can I tell you? So I tried, but it just didn't work. But after a quick break, the stems came out. Now, I don't know if words can do justice to especially my words, can do justice to what they brought to the stage. But can I just say, wow, they were just bloody brilliant. They're armed with their latest release, Heads Up, which was released in May this year, and a live album that's now available, recorded back in 2017. And Braggy, you'll be happy, it was recorded at the Gov in Adelaide. But they were ready to rock, and rock they certainly did. Now, before the show, interestingly, me and my mates, just none of us could really clearly recall ever seeing the Stems back in the day. They were a Perth band. They were darlings of the set, but they spent a fair bit of time, obviously, in Sydney, as is always the case back in the 80s. Sydney was the epicenter of the Aussie indie set. Melbourne was strong. Brisbane was unique. But none of us could actually remember seeing the Stems back in the day. But I'm sure we did. But sometimes memories blur with time. And time just doesn't stop for many of us, right? Any of us. Their music, though, has aged beautifully once again. And the set was seamless. The new, the classic intertwined effortlessly. So the new songs from the album just blended in with the old classics. Now, of course, bands are in a bit of a quandary when they've got such classic, iconic songs in their back catalogue. And fundamentally, I would say 80% of the audience was there to hear the classics, maybe even 100%. But when you've got some new music out, of course, you want to be, as a band, you want to be sharing that because that's the latest offering. But it was just so pleasing to hear that the new songs just transitioned effortlessly into classic songs and vice versa. It was amazing. It was amazing. Now, during the set, of course, they added their own edge to covers chosen. So they did do a couple of covers. Really a powerful, but Make You Mine is one of their original songs very early in the piece. But transitioning into Baby Please Don't Go and then transitioning back into Make Your Mind was just phenomenal. It was just so powerful to see. And they finished or closed the set along with another classic cover, Stepping Stone, and both songs were just amazing. Of course, don't forget, before I dive in and share some of their music from the set, don't forget their live album is now available on all platforms. So please make sure you check that out. I will have the link in the show notes. But here's a little bit of a snippet of what Brisbane experienced with the Stems on Friday night.
It sounds strange and you think you're crazy, but we're nothing, don't you worry at all. All those things that you never said, all those words going through my head, time after time I never cried, I laughed and I laughed, she waved goodbye.
Pretty good. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. Hey, the Stems actually have a song that says you can't turn the clock back, baby. But on Friday night, can I tell you, Brisbane did just that. Time seemed to rewind as these two incredible bands brought us back to a golden era in our minds of music, a golden era of music. The packed house. That was just amazing to see so many people, familiar faces, just there for the music and to see live music. And to me, I think that's the recognition that bands like this deserve, the ability to come back, reform, do a tour, still be as good as ever, and just be so appreciated by their fans in the audience was just, it was just simply awesome. So it's going to be a night that will be remembered for many, many years to come. And if you do get a chance to see them live, don't miss it. Take the opportunity, get out there and see them, because amazing. And I caught a quick chat with Darren from Ups and Downs while I was there. They do have some big news happening in March 2025. So definitely keep an eye out for that. I'm not going to share it with you now. It's not mine to share. He gave me a little bit of a whisper of what to expect, but can I tell you, that is looking to be awesome. So if you're not following Ups and Downs on their Facebook page, please do, because when that comes out in March 2025, you are going to be excited. Some of you may be blown away, but excited at the least. And we'll hold off until it's official, but trust me, it's going to be a big. Now, if you have caught the stems or Ups and Downs during this tour, I know Ups and Downs with their Brizzy support. I know they're being supported by other bands in other states. Share your thoughts. Let's hear what you thought. How was the gigs for you? So some of the live footage that we're seeing on social media just reinforces what we all felt here in Brisbane on the 30th of August. So in the next episode, I will be back with Rossi and Braggy. We're going to be chatting with another incredible artist. Until then, keep supporting live music, because music matters. See you next time.